Welcome to this Devon S Comics adventure. In this video we are going to talk about top 10 comic book villains. Before starting this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel for future updates. We look at the greatest comic book villains of all time, from Venom to the Joker and what made him so memorable. Without a good, or should we say evil, villain, superheroes will not be who they are. In every comic book the villain is just as important as the hero. They create an atmosphere of risk, excitement or unease. Without a villain there is no real obstacle for the hero to overcome. They'd live easy, uncomplicated lives which wouldn't make for the most says story. Any hero needs the presence of a villain. Not all villains though are made equal. Some villains have a distinct personality that makes them truly memorable. Let's take a look at some of the best comic book villains of all time, including some that have forever changed comic books and popular culture. Number 10. Kingpin. The Kingpin Wilson Grant Fisk is a fictional supervillain. Stan Lee and John Romita Sr. invented the character, who first appeared in the Amazing Spider-Man number 50 cover dated July 1967. The term Kingpin refers to the crime lord title in mafia slang nomenclature. Although the Kingpin has no superhuman abilities, he is immensely powerful and much more robust than the average human. His incredible strength being hidden by his enormous size. The majority of his body mass is made up of muscle, that has been grown to enormous proportions, similar to that of a super heavyweight sumo wrestler or Olympic weightlifters and powerlifters but with greater strength. He's been shown to be strong enough to hurl big men around a room and pound concrete walls leaving imprints. Despite his large stature, the Kingpin is an expert in a variety of armed and unarmed combat, especially sumo wrestling. The bear hug is his signature gesture. He is so skilled that in hand-to-hand fighting he once brought Captain America to a halt. His everyday exercise usually entails defeating 5 or more professional martial artists with his bare hands. And he keeps his valuables in a custom-built safe with no lock and only a heavy door that only the Kingpin himself can unlock. Number 9. Doomsday. Doomsday is a fictional supervillain who appears in American comic books published by DC Comics. He is best known for being one of Superman's deadliest enemies. The character was created by writer-artist Dan Jurgens, and first appeared in Superman the Man of Steel number 17, November 1992, before making his first full appearance in Superman the Man of Steel number 18, December 1992. Number 8. Green Goblin. The Green Goblin is the pseudonym of many fictional supervillains, who feature in Marvel Comics American comic books. Norman Osborn, Spider-Man's first and most well-known incarnation, was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko and is widely regarded as his archenemy. Others, such as Norman's son, Harry Osborn, would take on the character, which was originally a form of chemically induced insanity. The Green Goblin is a Halloween-themed supervillain who uses a hoverboard, or glider to ride and wields arms that resemble bats, ghosts and jack-o'-lanterns. The Green Goblin has appeared in several films, including Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3 with William Dafoe as Norman Osborn and The Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Dane DeHaan as Harry Osborn. James Franco played a version of the Green Goblin character in the 2007 film. Number 7. Apocalypse. Apocalypse N. Sabah-Nur is a fictional supervillain who appears in Marvel Comics comic books. He is one of the world's first mutants and he served as the main protagonist for the original X-Factor squad as well as the X-Men and their spin-offs. Apocalypse was first introduced in X-Factor number 5 by writer Louise Simonson and artist Jackson Geechee, May 1986. In the Marvel Universe, Apocalypse is one of the most powerful beings. Number 6. Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom, the Fantastic Four's archenemy, was previously ranked number 4 on Wizard's 101 Greatest Villains of All Time list, and number 3 on IGN's Top 100 Comic Book Villains of All Time. Doctor Doom is both a genius and a scientist. There are a surprising number of comic book villains with PhDs. In his day, Doctor Doom Defense created a variety of doomsday devices. He is regarded as one of the Marvel Universe's most intelligent characters. Doctor Doom is also a powerful sorcerer with abilities such as energy absorption and defense, dimensional travel and healing, making him a truly frightening and formidable comic book villain. Number 5. Galactus. Other Marvel media such as arcade games, computer games, animated television series, and the 2007 film Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer have featured the character. Galactus was ranked 5th on IGN's Top 100 Comic Book Villains list in 2009, with the character's larger-than-life appearance cited as one of the most influential villains ever made. Galactus is one of the few villains on our list to really contradict the idea of an evildoer according to IGN, since the character is driven to kill worlds by his hunger. Galactus began his life as Galen, an explorer from the planet TA, which existed before the Big Bang. Galen and other survivors abandoned TA on a spaceship and are engulfed in the Big Crunch, when an unseen planetary cataclysm eventually kills off all other life in his universe. Galen, on the other hand, does not die. After bonding with the universe's sentience, he transforms and carries his child for billions of years in an egg made of the wreckage of his rocket, which the modern universe created after the Big Bang. He takes the form of Galactus, and despite the fact that a Watcher witnessed Galactus' birth, and knows his destructive existence, the Watcher decides not to destroy him. Galactus, starving for food, destroys the nearby world of Archaeopia, the first of many he would kill in order to sustain his life. Galactus then builds a new home world in memory of his dead home world TAA, and the first planet, Archaeopia, to succumb to his hunger, the Mobius strip-shaped space station, known as TAA-2. Galactus becomes embroiled in a civil war among the Proamiel, gods who arose during the universe's formative years. Galactus destroys Diabolari and imprisons three others, Antiphon, Tenebris and Aegis, in the Kylon, when an Antiphon faction of gods headed by Diabolari of Chaos tries to remake the world in their own image. Number 4. Magneto. Magneto may be Marvel's biggest villain despite the fact that he isn't even a villain. Magneto was dubbed Earth's most powerful supervillain in X-Men #1. Magneto, on the other hand, evolved into something more than a one-dimensional comic book villain over time. Marvel Comics creative director Stan Lee once said of Magneto, "Magneto did not strike me as a bad guy. He was simply at Villaron. He was attempting to protect the mutants, and since society had failed him, he was going to teach society a lesson. Of course, he posed a threat, but I never considered him a villain." Magneto is portrayed as a villain in Professor X's Battle of Values, but through his bad deeds, he remains a friend of Professor X and deep down someone who only wants peace. This conflict is engrossing and keeps us on the edge of our seats. Number 3. Lex Luthor. Marvel superheroes have become household names thanks to the MCU. They've been part of popular culture. The Spider-Man films and the Iron Man trilogy are beloved by even those who do not read comic books. However, Superman remains the most famous superhero in the world. Here's the thing, Superman is just a hero, because he has a rival in the form of Lex Luthor to challenge him. Lex Luthor, like the Joker, has grown over the years. He started out as a simple evil scientist but grew into an evil businessman, an evil politician and an evil supervillain. Lex Luthor also possesses the charm and persuasion abilities necessary to rally a squad of supervillains. Lex Luthor has also employed the Joker. Lex Luthor is also one of the few Golden Age comic book villains that has remained popular since his first appearance. Number 2. Venom. The first human host of the Venom symbiote was Spider-Man, who finally discovered the creature's true nefarious existence, and isolated himself from it in The Amazing Spider-Man number 258, November 1984, only to reappear 5 months later in Web of Spider-Man number 1. The symbiote went on to unite with other hosts, starting with Eddie Brock, its second and most notorious host, with whom it became Venom for the first time. Venom, who was once a villain and one of Spider-Man's archenemies, has since transformed into an anti-heroic character, steadily distancing himself from his initial aim of destroying Spider-Man's existence in favor of trying to do good instead. Following Brock, a slew of other Venom hosts emerged, including the villain Mac Gargan, who served as Venom's main iteration from 2005 to 2009, and Flash Thompson, who debuted as Agent Venom in 2011. Number 1. The Joker. The Joker has grown into one of the best comic book characters of all time over the years. Other Batman villains have had their moments in the spotlight, and while many are well known in their own right, none compare to the Joker's complexity. The Joker has evolved over time, becoming more complex, evil and in certain ways, human. He's irrational, paranoid and devious. In terms of gadgets, arms or power, he can't compete with Batman or other villains, but his character is so compelling that he has lasted more than 70 years and continues to enthrall readers and audiences. What do you think about this video? Which of the following top 10 comic book villains you find most interesting? Let us know down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.